Tom Brady, 20 seasons in the NFL. How in the heck did he pull that off? So the average career of an NFL player is actually only 3.3 years, which makes sense because they're getting hit again, and they're just getting hit a lot. So when you're in a sport where there's that much contact, your body physically can only handle so much. So now we have to ask the question, how did Tom Brady get through 20 years of that? Which there actually is a pretty solid answer. The best thing that Tom Brady ever did was learn how to recover. Now, we've talked about this before, why recovery is so important, but this man literally sets the stage for everyone to learn about how their body works and how their body recovers. Now, if you look at Tom Brady, you see his brands. He has TB12, he has his proteins, he has his training program. He even has his man on staff who literally takes care of all of his training, all of his massage, all of his recovery, everything. And one of the things that they came up with was their own system, and they call it pliability training. Now, I'm not going to get into why they call it pliability training or any of that kind of stuff, because sometimes the science on one side says something from what they say on the other side. So what they found out is that with this pliability training that he was doing, he was able to have these muscles that were able to recover after doing a lot of repetitions. So think how many throws he had to do, or how many times he would get hit if the defense got through and sacked him. So these are things that he had to do over and over and over again, and he had to train his body to be able to recover from those things. Now, not only did he focus on actual exercises and techniques, he always focused on his massage. He made sure that he was doing all of his recovery components, whether they were everything from ice baths to active release technique to strengthening in certain ways. But he also was big about nutrition. Now, nutrition was super important for him because he made sure that he was eating an anti-inflammatory diet at all times so that his body could then better process the nutrients that he was consuming and therefore decrease the amount of time that his body needed to recover from those workouts. So this double whammy of really, really good nutrition paired with really good and consistent training made it so that he was able to recover and come back season after season. To become an elite athlete like Tom Brady or any of the others, you not only have to have good genetics, but you have to become an expert in what you do. Now, how do you become an expert? There are books written about this, there's podcasts, there's everything, but the common rule is that you need about 10,000 hours of doing the same thing to become an expert. Now, when these athletes start as young children, they start to excel. What we've seen is that the ones that excel actually get more focus on them. That leads to more hours of training, more consistent coaching, and pushing them to take that next step. Now, once they get to that collegiate level, again, they get to the point where it's okay if they're the best or if they're in the top tier of their teams. What are they getting? More coaching, more recovery, more athletic training, a nutritionist on staff, people to take care of them, people to teach them about their body. But all those hours are adding up to the point of becoming an expert. Now we get to the point where you're in the NFL for these guys who are playing football. You're in the NFL and you have every resource you need. That is where they become the expert, the true expert in their craft. That's why they're the elite. That's why they're the best athletes out there. Tom Brady was able to learn the game better than anybody because he was in the game longer than anybody. That is going to make it so he not only knows how to, one, recover and take care of his body to get to the next season, but it also makes it so he can be one of the best in terms of technique and plays, whatever it is, to get their team to win. As we age, athletes or non-athletes, our bodies start to break down. We don't produce as much of the anabolic hormones, the ones that help our muscles grow, and we produce more of the catabolic hormones, the ones that actually break us down. Now, the cool thing is that if you take really good care of your body, you can slow this aging process. You can't make it go away completely, but you can slow it down a little bit. The one thing though is that as we age, The key rule is that your recovery time is going to increase, meaning you're going to need to take more time between your training sessions, your workouts. You're going to need to take more time between anything that's causing a lot of stress on your body. Now, this is where Tom Brady kind of nailed it. He found that as he aged, if he focused more on nutrition and more on the recovery component, then he would get more out of his workouts. Now, his workouts over time, I mean, I'm not his coach, but they probably decreased in intensity. They didn't decrease in consistency though. He was always consistent. He was always focused on getting the job done, and mentally he stayed sharp and mentally he stayed intense, but he listened to his body so that he could then get up each day and get back to training. So the lessons that we can take from Tom Brady is, one, to focus on what you're putting in your body. He's a huge advocate for nutrition, and understanding that nutrition can not only change the aesthetics of your body, but it can change how you feel. It can change your mental focus. It can change how much energy you have on a daily basis. So finding the foods that actually help you live life better is one of the biggest things I think we can take away from him. He focused on his nutrition for himself, for his family, and obviously that's paid off for him. Also, the other thing I think we can take away is that listening to your body is the number one priority. Now, listening to your body is not necessarily saying, hey, I need to lay on the couch and eat this pint of ice cream every single night. It's more along the lines of, hey, after I do this hard training session, what does my body need to be more efficient the next day? So, and I will say this last thing is setting a goal. I feel like that man always had a goal. When he was always asked, like, which Super Bowl ring is your favorite? And he'd always say the next one. So always looking forward, always trying to be better. So if you're always trying to be better, you're putting the right things in your body and you're hitting consistent workouts and listening to your body afterwards, then I think that you can take the most away from what Tom Brady's career was all about. The last thing that you can take away from Tom Brady's training is the fact that his training, if you implemented some of those principles into your life, your entire life could change. So let's take you through this. Tom Brady, what does he do? He has goals. What does he do for his goals? He focuses on them daily and creates habits. What's a goal that you have right now? Start creating habits that are going to get you closer to that goal. Next thing he does is really good with nutrition. Why? Because he wants his body to feel good. What about you? How are you feeling better energetically going to help you accomplish those goals? Next, consistent training, consistent exercise. What's that going to do for you? It's going to make you healthier. It's going to make you feel better. What's that going to do for your goals? Going to make it so you can actually focus on them better. So take these principles that you've seen with Tom Brady and other athletes who have had extremely successful careers and think about how you can implement those little things into your life. Because I promise you that training like an athlete creates an athletic performance mindset in all other areas of your life. And an athlete mindset in the corporate world or an athlete mindset in the entrepreneur world will always succeed.